So we're making this video because Dad asked, hey, what are you bringing to cook on? And I said, you know what? This would be a great how do I video. So here we go. I'm your buddy B-Bomb, and this is how do I. First, I'm going to set up a table. There's a few things you need to know when you're talking about cooking at an expo. So what you need to realize is these expos are really tight on the rules when it comes to fire. You can't put the fire on the ground usually. You probably don't have access to firewood, so you have to bring it. Any fuel you bring, you better bring enough. Take all these things into consideration. Now, we go out overlanding, we have all kinds of options, right? All kinds of options. Hey, you basically, you start off with, hey, what do I have? You got nothing? Sorry. Now, let me set this table up because, well, it's easier. Now, still small. I feel small now. Great. Now, if you're absolutely, this really feels weird. If you're absolutely convinced that you have to have fire when you're at the expo, you have a few options. You use a small Solostove, or even the big one, like this one I used at the first time we went to the expo. Roll video. But let's be clear, Solostoves burn some wood. They go through a lot of wood. And that's already a hassle when you're working with a wood fire and you can't just gather it, which is kind of the situation at the expos. So if you absolutely have to, then I say you move over here to one of these here rocket stoves. I personally have never used this one. I never trusted this one, but I think you'd tell this one's a little not used to death, a little used. So let's show you this one. Opens up. They're heavy. The fun. Hello. I'm so glad I accidentally got it right over on the top. I didn't even look. All right, and you get something like this. And this would be a great stove. Uses a lot less wood. And if you really absolutely have to have a fire, not a bad option. It's not. It's a pretty good option. So what you need to realize is these expos are really tight on the rules when it comes to fire. You can't put the fire on the ground usually. You probably don't have access to firewood, so you have to bring it. Any fuel you bring, you better bring enough. Take all these things into consideration. Plan it. You have to bring in your own wood probably. And wood's a little harder to carry in than propane, which gets us to propane. Okay, I know I said propane, but really I just mean fuel. So you have a lot of options if you decide you want to go with a fuel cook system. I really need to start scripting. You have a lot of options if you're going to go with something fuel powered. You always have the Jetboil option. Now this is the smallest of the options, but you kind of limit it. This is only going to really heat water, maybe some soup. It does it really well. Now, a lot of people knock on the Jetboils, especially in the hiking community, because they're big and they're expensive. But you know what? For what it does, I think it does a great job. I almost always bring a Jetboil because I'm almost always wanting to be able to make, just hot water, whether I'm making it for a shower or if I want to make coffee in the morning. It's just so much easier to throw some water in here, get it hot, and put it into whatever coffee mechanism I'm using this week. I'd obviously like to play with my gadgets. And the next thing is this, are these just a basic camp stove. This might be a more expensive camp stove, but still, basically just a camp stove. Let's move this over here. What? Voila. You have 2 burners. They cook just like each stove at home, which is why I like it. The knobs are pretty precise. You can go from low heat to high heat pretty good. But the biggest issue with these, and what I don't like about this, that this is a thin pan. It'll work. You can cook with it. And in my first episode where I used it, I showed you can cook it with it. I made some big old fat burgers with some bacon and then do it. Okay, they were real good. But I kind of, don't like that. I like go ahead and carry a cast iron pan. Now, obviously, you're not backpacking with this. This is for your overlanding people. I love cook on a cast iron pan. So I'm gonna probably bring a cast iron pan. That was true. Hey, we were talking about wood fire too. I'm gonna bring a cast iron pan because that's what I like to cook on. And you can't cook on anything without that. You bring the electric and induction, you still use a cast iron pan. Cast iron pan. Number one part of this. If you didn't get anything else from this video, you want a cast iron pan. But when I put that video out, about the only comments I really got were, "This is too expensive." Nobody uses that because it's too expensive. I get it. It's expensive. I'm going to still put a link at the bottom because I think it's worth it. I get it. It's expensive. But I always go this route. So, if you're going to complain about this one being too expensive, this is going to be your guy. Something like it. A little $50 butane stove I picked up from REI. It's made by a company called Eureka, but there's a whole ton of them just like it on Amazon. And I'm going to put a link to one of them from Amazon because I don't think REI is carrying this one anymore. You can find them everywhere. They use a fuel source like this. And that's where I have an issue. So this is just another kind of fuel I have to carry. This right here is my fire pit. This is what we're gonna be, sitting around telling, tall tales and lying to each other over. This right here. It's also got a grill. Now this uses this, and this uses this or this. And I never got around to, setting up my scuttle. But again, my scuttle uses this or this. So if I stick with these, I can stick with just this fuel source. Or this fuel source. Whatever, same thing. Whereas if I go with this, now I need to carry another can, different kind of can. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's first world problems. Realistically, once the can's in there, there's not taking much space, and it's going to last the weekend. I've gotten everything in the world out to show you and to kind of, run through some of the pros and the cons. Which one am I going to use? I'm going to use the fire pit with the grill. I'm going to use the Jetboil with the cast iron stove. And there's no reason not to use this. And that's it. We're going to make another video on this in another episode. I only want to trust it for one night because I don't have a lot of experience with it. I don't know if it's going to hold up or it's going to be like my stove that blew up on one of my first episodes. Here, I'll show you that. So, Dad, plan on cooking on this stove. And I will see you at the Southeast Expo. Southeast Adventure Vehicle Expo. Yep. Yeah. But here's the deal. I like this one. I have this one. I'm gonna take this one. Done. Nah, I'm just kidding. Not really. 1, 2. Hey, this is B-Bomb. I hope you can hear this. I've already taken the microphone off. Did I make the right decision? What should I have taken? Let me know, because I'm curious. And I'll see you next week with another How Do I, or maybe I should call it How I Do, whatever I do. But yeah, this is your buddy B-Bomb. Let me know.